So I wanted to address the cost of eating healthy, and that is absolutely true. The quote that I showed you before about it seems like anything that you purchase, if that it's clean, is expensive. But there are ways to cut the cost, especially I know with inflation now, everything seems like it's twice as much as it was in the past. But the key, that actual amazing thing about eating plant-based is if you keep it simple, it really can be inexpensive. So things like rice, for example, and beans and lentils, you can buy dried beans and lentils. Even if you buy the canned variety, that is less expensive than, say, if you're buying meat, for example. But if you buy the dried lentils, I know people often say that beans take a long time when you cook, but you can, if you take a day for meal prep, you can do that. The other things that I do is I buy frozen veggies instead of fresh veggies. Like if I want berries, I always have frozen berries in my freezer. And that is just as good as fresh because a lot of times they're picked fresh. So you can buy organic frozen fruits and vegetables for less. The other thing is sticking with what's in season. So a lot of times you'll see it's labeled in season, or things that are local can be less expensive. So look for those things. I like to go to the farmers markets, which a lot of times, if it's even not labeled organic, a lot of times farmers will use sustainable practices, which is low or no pesticides. And they use things like, I can't think of what it's called, complementary growing. So where they grow things next to each other so that they can, like say, for example, onions and cucumbers, say, for example. So onions will keep away certain pests. So companion gardening, I think that's what it's called, but where they grow things next to each other, and then they use other sustainable practices to cut down on the use of pesticides and other things, so it's more sustainable. So you're still getting that benefit of that good, good for you fruits and vegetables. There's other things like going to discount markets, like so buying things in bulk, going to places like Aldi or Trader Joe's to buy things for less expensive. A lot of times you can find organic varieties there for less cost. And it organic, it doesn't have to be organic. I do use the EWG list as a guide for things that I really will make sure I buy organic. So they always have a list of the things that are the highest in pesticides versus the lowest in pesticides. So kind of using that as a guide to what things to buy organic. And again, just keeping it simple. Like if you stay away from the processed packaged things. So when you're eating plant-based, if you just choose the unprocessed foods, so like tofu, beans, lentils, tempeh, fresh fruits and vegetables, the raw nuts and seeds, which are better for you anyway, those things are going to be less expensive than the processed varieties. They actually you pay more for the processing. So things like the alternative meats and things like that, those are going to be more expensive than if you buy beans and lentils. So that's definitely a thing, which is not to say that you never buy those things, but if you make those, lower on the list, you buy less of those things and you focus really on keeping the beans and the lentils as your staples, you can really significantly cut the costs, and it's better for you in the long run as well. Hope that's helpful. Let me know.